Hello and welcome to the Cameron and Tia Show. Today is a solo show and I'm breaking down our wedding pricing, why we structure things the way that we do, and some things that we've tried in the past. We're literally laying it all out here for you. So let's jump right in.
Hi, I'm Cameron.
And I'm Tia.
We're so excited that you're here.
Let's jump right into the video. Okay, so let's break this down. We literally have one package and only one package. We've actually always structured it this way. So though our package and the way that it looks used to be different, we never had 3 tiers of pricing or 3 different options or things that had different things built in. The reason being is that we always want to simplify things for the client. We never wanted them to have to weigh pros and cons between package 1 that didn't have an album included and package 3 that did have an album included. Instead, we wanted to give straightforward pricing, and then if they wanted to add anything else on, they were welcome to add things on. I'm going to break down what's included in our package, but it's very basic. So things like albums are totally a la carte and they can add those on if need be. We didn't want them to get boxed into a certain package, say that had 10 hours and also an album included, and then they didn't want the album. And then we have to go down the road of, okay, what can I get if I take out the album? Can I have additional hours? Can I have money back, money off the package? So we start with that one package and then we add anything on that they want to add on. We have what we call full day wedding coverage. So I know some wedding vendors will call full day coverage as literally the entire day. That could be from the start of hair and makeup all the way to the end of the dance floor. We actually don't do that, but we do market it as full day wedding coverage. What happens is that we have a beginning and end stopper. So we arrive an hour and a half prior to a first look and we leave a half hour into open dance floor time. So that doesn't include first dances, mother-son, father-daughter, but open party dance floor time. Whatever happens in the middle, whether that be an extended cocktail hour or traveling to a different location for portraits, that can happen and that doesn't extend our coverage time per se, like they don't need to pay additional time. So that it's fluid in the middle there, it's just those beginning and end stoppers. So rewind and let me tell you what we had before this. We had one package. It was an 8-hour package and then clients could add additional hours as they pleased. So what would happen is kind of twofold. We always draft a full day of timeline for our clients right after booking with us. So if they don't have a full planner, whether they have day of coordination or no type of planner, we draft this timeline for them. And what happens is that our clients would book 8 hours, we'd go and we'd draft this timeline, and it would often end up being like 8.5 hours or 9 hours and 15 minutes. And it would just feel so good. It would feel like they had time to relax. We had plenty of time to get everything done, but we were not rushed, nor were we there for all kinds of extra time, like extra getting ready time or the dreaded extra dance floor time. So it was amazing in that way, but it was really unfortunate because our clients just booked that 8-hour package and then we'd have to go back to our clients and say, hey, actually, 8.5 feels really good. So do you want to pay for that extra half hour? And that is not how we thought we should be delivering news to our clients. It just felt really backwards. So what happens with the full day coverage now is that we're able to draft up a timeline that feels amazing, not only for them, but also for us. It puts us in full control and then we never have to go back to them and be like, do you want to add extra hours because of something that we created? Our clients can add additional hours. I will say it's extremely rare. So we still give them that flexibility. They can add them however they please. And the only things that they'll typically add for is a really unique getting ready thing. Like for example, our groom and all of his groomsmen are getting professional shaves with hot towels, or something really awesome at the end of the dance floor. So sometimes that's sparkler exit. Most of the times we have our clients do sparkler fun at the end of our coverage time with just their bridal party or just their family, and they get amazing photos, but they don't have to add 3 hours of coverage. So they can totally add additional hours if need be, but with our full day coverage, it's extremely rare. It also puts us in the driver's seat and allows us to just be there for 30 minutes of dance floor, which feels really good to us. It feels like we can serve them really well, get all of the coverage that they need, but it doesn't feel like we're there for hours upon hours just because they felt like maybe they needed that. We are the educators in this situation. We know what that looks like. We know the product that we can deliver for them, and we know that a half hour will be great. But then also personally, we don't want to spend hours upon hours photographing a dance floor that looks the same because that doesn't serve us well. So our full day coverage model really allows us to serve them well, be the educators throughout it, and it allows us to personally feel good about the time commitment that we're investing there. So then there are 3 things that we include in like their package list out with the full day coverage. The first is an engagement session. We can include an engagement session with any full day wedding coverage. So if it's an elopement or if it's a destination package, those are the only things that really vary. They still technically get full day coverage. They just won't have all of these things built in. But for our full day wedding coverage, we include an engagement session for literally a million reasons. We love them for so many reasons, but I'm going to tell you about 3 of them. So first, we love the opportunity to get to know our clients better. It really allows us to check in about their sister, check in about the remodel that they're doing, have tacos afterwards, grab a beer with them afterwards. It allows us to invest in them, show them that we really care because we do. And then it just builds that relationship so much stronger so that by wedding day time, we know them so well. We're able to know their mannerisms. We're able to know how they're close with this bridesmaid, how this bridesmaid is a sister, how this bridesmaid is a friend from college. We just really know them. We've probably only photographed, I think, 2 weddings where we haven't done an engagement session prior. And those are always a little bit more awkward. We're just getting to know them right then and there. And no matter how excited and how extroverted we are, they're still getting to know us. So the second reason that we include engagement sessions is because it allows them an opportunity to get to know us. Typically, not only do they get to know us on a personal level, how we tick, how we operate, our personalities, but they also get to know our shooting style. We shoot in a very directional based way versus posing. We use a lot of prompts, a lot of games, challenges, silliness, whispering in the ear, and we want them to know exactly what that feels like. The last thing we would ever want is a groom is getting ready for the first look. Getting ready. I use that loosely because that's literally putting on a suit. But he thinks for a second like, oh, is this going to be awkward? Like, how are these photos going to be? Like, no, we want them to know exactly what that feels like. And it's really tough to describe like what challenges are, what prompts are even until you've done them and until you're at an engagement session doing a bunch of prompts and you're like, wait, this is freaking fun. This is awesome. This is so much easier than like hitting a pose and cheesing for forever. So we have this thing that the guy does that's called the nuzzle. And typically by the time we get to the wedding day, we're like, hey, Alex, do you remember how to nuzzle? And he's like, oh yeah, let me show you this nuzzle. And that's great. We want them to feel comfortable in that way. And so then the final element is that we get to know what works well for them. We get to really understand like what looks good on them, what really feels like them. We'll typically go through a whole slew of prompts and poses, and then we get into something like 3/4 of the way through, and I'm like, oh, Cam, that just feels like them. Like that is them sitting on the couch snuggled up. That's how they fall into each other's arms. And that's really important because then that allows us to just capitalize on that times a million at the wedding day. It's also important because some variations just don't work for couples, and that's important to know. And I'd much rather go through that engagement session and be like, nah. They don't know that it doesn't work for them. That just might not be something that we deliver. And by wedding day time, it's definitely something that we don't even do. Heights, weights, shapes, just the way that they look at each other, that really varies, and that makes or breaks whether a certain pose or a certain prompt really works and really looks great on them. We want wedding day to only be the best of the best, everything that looks amazing for them, and just capitalize on that engagement session vibes times a million. So that is totally why we include an engagement session. I know that some photographers won't include an engagement session because they don't want to invest that extra time if there isn't going to be that payoff. And I totally get that. But I think the way that we formulate our business with being such a personal relationship, it just wouldn't make sense to not include it. If couples have had an engagement session prior to booking with us, say a friend did it or an aunt did it, or they just didn't know that you can do an engagement session and wedding photos with the same photographer and it's typically built into a package, we don't offer a discount for them. We do say that it's complimentary, and with that language, there's no discount if you take it out. And so we encourage them, hey, let's just do a mini session, or let's do it again, a just for fun session. And we have always had our couples take advantage of that. Not one time has a couple not taken advantage of that. So that is amazing. That's why we include engagement sessions. The next thing is that we specify that they get printing rights to all of the digital images, all of the edited digital images that are included. So we just specify that there are no RAWs being delivered. They're always edited images. We also say that we guarantee a minimum of 50 images per hour. We tell them that that typically ends up being about 75 images per hour, which is always still over delivered. We're typically in that like 80 to 90 range. And so they always know the number to expect. It's built right into their contract. They can feel secure about that. I feel like that's a question that's always on like the not questions to ask your photographer before booking them. And so we like to make sure that we just lay that out at the consult, then it's built into their contract, really easy to find, really easy to see. So they do get the images from us and have full printing rights. We also always specify printing rights. People will get a little confused about copyright printing. We always just lay it out again. Printing rights. The last thing that we always specify in their package is we say that they have unlimited planning and consultation with us. What we really advertise them and like market to them is that we're there for you with whatever. We're here for you to bounce questions off of us. We're here for you to get a second opinion, literally whatever. If you want it, it's here. We have a very personal relationship with our clients. Again, I text with them, I email them, I DM them, whatever. We don't like restrict them and say, hey, you can only email us between these certain times. We let them know that we have boundaries and we'll only respond during these certain times, and we prefer email. But there's something about just being able to text and just be like, girl, oh, I love the color of the bridesmaids dresses. They look phenomenal. That builds such a stronger relationship and really takes it over that professional threshold into like, hey, we are friends as well as I'm serving you as a professional. So that's why we build in this unlimited consultation and planning. It really shows them we're here for whatever. We've never had that abused though. We do work with a lot of couples that have planners, so they definitely have that person as a first resource. And so I think that's partially why then their questions for us just funnel down into like, hey, check out this dress. How's it going to photograph? Or like, hey, do you like these colors? Are these going to photograph well? Those are easy for us to answer. They are fast. They are quick. It's not like we're sending some detailed explanation about how to put together this, and how to do your entire seating chart and floor plan at your venue. They're not going to ask us that. The reality is that we feel like all of our couples understand that boundary and understand that we're not planning a wedding for them, but they know what to reach out about, and that works really well. So we've never had someone overstep that boundary, so we've never had to like take that down to not be like unlimited. But I think the unlimited just more so communicates our doors are open, we're there for you guys in whatever you need. So yeah. So that is why we have full day wedding coverage, what that is, and everything that's built into our package. If you have any questions at all, let us know. Otherwise, until next time, bye!